Evening, people. Better late than never. Apologies for the lateness. There's a few of us that are running late today. We've got a couple of people joining us. My saddle will be in the house in the next 20 minutes or so. We've got Jimmy who's going to join as well. Big up to Billy. Bruv, feels forever, man. How are you?
It's been a while, hasn't it? I'm good, thanks, mate. I'm good.
Good, man. Always
Enjoying
a pleasure having you on, mate. Yeah, I bet you are, man. I bet you are. And, mate, when I come over to your place, it was bloody raining. So as soon as I leave, the weather comes out. Unbelievable. Anyway, Henry Wright TV. Henry Talks Football. What are you telling me, bruv?
Yeah, I feel like it's been a couple of months since I've been on. I know we used to do the show with judges, but now the season's finished. Yeah, I'm good to be back on, mate. Happy. We're actually signing some players. Let's hope that continues, because that'll probably go down like a pint of sick. But yeah,
well, listen, if it does, it will with a lot of people that follow this channel. But Daniel Levy will have his way to mess it up, mate. I'm sure. So don't worry about it. Let's not get too excited. So big up to you, man. Staffy TV, bruv. What you telling me? You good?
No, good. Listen, play that beat again, because I'm not gonna lie, that beat slapped. You know, I wish the intro was a little bit longer. I don't know if you saw me, it was just vibing in the background.
Love that.
Big up for having me, bro. It's been a long time coming. But it's a pleasure to be here. Big up, obviously, to all the guys here, Henry, and I'm sorry, Villa Fed. Billy, sorry, I just met you. So I was about to be like, oh, nice to meet you. And then I was like, fuck, I forgot his name already. But no, it's nice to meet you. Big up to everyone in the chat and all that. Make sure you guys smash a like. You already know the drill.
Come on, man. You know, you're always welcome, brother, and pleasure to have you here. We're going to start with you because the news broke today that, of course, Ten Hag, hallelujah, he's staying at Manchester United. Or is it hallelujah? We don't know yet. Under a new structure, it might be a little bit different. But I want to get your thoughts on that, first of all, because I know as a Man United fan, you're quite honest, you're quite upfront, you're quite opinionated, and you say it how it is, and that's why I love you, man. But the Ten Hag situation has been a debate for a long time, bro. I can't lie to you. And between the Manchester United fan base, there seems to be some that want him in, some that want him out. So there's going to be some happy fans and some sad fans, man. Which side of the Which side of the coin, should I say, are you, bro?
Well, the news broke, as you guys can tell from the people who don't know me. If you can't tell by my accent, yes, I'm not from England. So that news broke out about 6 a.m. where I was at. And you know, sometimes when you wake up in the middle of the night and you think like, oh yeah, it was just a dream. Let me just go back to sleep. Everything's gonna be okay. I did that, but it didn't work because I woke up about 5 hours later. And yes, the news was true. He did get a contract extension, we should say. And I think that's what makes the news interesting, because I think we all knew here by now that he was gonna stay. I think it's a bit interesting though that he's getting an extension rather than a new contract. And I think that's where this is where we can really have a debate. Because you can argue, why is it a contract extension and not a new contract? So for the people who don't know, he basically had like 1 more year. And United always do this thing where they just offer contracts to their players or staff or whatever. There's always like a 1-year extension that the club can trigger if they want. I feel like we're the only club that does that. We're obsessed with that. And that's basically what we did. We just extended him for 1 more year. So shout out Jimmy. So now he's staying for an additional season plus this season that he was already going to be here. Like this was going to be his last season anyways. And I look at it like that and I'm like, I'm trying to understand what made them just trigger that extension instead of giving him a new contract. And it gives me that little bit of a feeling that I've had all along also, that he's just here for now because they can't find anything better. But low-key, they're going to be cheating on him. They're still going to be talking to other people. They're still going to be entertaining other managers. They're going to be sliding in different DMs. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like this, if anything, this confirms it to me. But I don't know. I mean, that's maybe me being a little bit hopeful because I didn't want Ten Hag to stay and I'm the only United fan here. But you guys as outsiders looking in, I don't know. Like, you could give me your perspective on it.
Well, listen, let's big up Jimmy first of all. Jimmy, big up to the show, my bro. How are you, mate?
I'm here, bro. I'm here. Sorry about that, man.
Nah, come on, man.
I was doing somebody else's show for supposed to be 5 minutes, and I got caught up in a Mudryk argument with an Arsenal fan. So you know how that.
Man, it's cool, man.
Honestly, big up everybody here, man. Big up everybody.
Nah, it's fine, man.
My G, what's up, man?
It was good, bro. You said Mudryk debate. I mean, you should have left 5 minutes early if you got dragged into Mudryk.
Yeah,
debate.
I tried to get
stay
out
longer.
There. He was saying how much we paid for him, and I said, but you gave us the money back with Havertz. We kind of, and then there was a Man U fan laughing. I said, you gave us 60 for Mount.
Yeah, you remind me of that every day. Don't worry.
And then I ran out of there. I left on that note. I left up a couple points. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's a good time to run out. Just shout that one in there, throw that bomb in there, and get out of there. Do you know what I mean? Fair play, man. Listen, we're talking Ten Hag. He is staying at Manchester United. I don't want to talk on this too long, but I want to get your thoughts on it, man. Come on, talk to me.
One of the best managers I've seen, man. The best trophy Man City ever lost. The best trophy they ever lost. Because if he would have lost that, they would have fired him. And they would have possibly hired somebody that would have came and gave us problems. I don't rate that dude. I don't rate him the same reason why I don't rate Poch. Because they came in with this, we hired him because he has this style and he does this and they do that. And they came in and did what the last manager before them did. And I'm like, yeah, I don't rate. He ain't got no cojones, like my Latino friends would say. He has no cojones. I do not rate Ten Hag at all. I rate him as like one of them managers that could win a cup. He's good on the day of a match, but like over.
Do you not think though, with the right hierarchy, like if Man United restructure everything, which they're trying to do, like they want to give him a year, right? That's the way I see it. You give him a year under the new regime with a style of play with Dan Ashworth, with a new technical director, with a new CEO. There's no more accountants. You got footballing people there making footballing decisions. Do you not think just give him a year? If it don't work out, you got Van Nistelrooy there ready. Because that's the way I see it. Van Nistelrooy is at that club in case it goes pear-shaped.
Was Van Nistelrooy, he was coaching last year?
Yeah.
No, the season before. He was off.
Season before. Okay. Well, as long as he got some experience. I'm not. Come on, I'm a Chelsea fan. You know I'm not against firing the manager during the season. Like, we just let him go. I'm not against him winning back-to-back cups, right? It does say something. You can't ignore that. Like, and it's not like it's in like a level up. I don't know. I can't remember who they beat for the Carabao, but to beat
Newcastle.
Yeah, but to beat what you call it in the final, like, and to really outclass Pep like he did, I can understand why they brought him back. But as a fan, if I was a fan, I could not go into this season enthusiastic. The only thing that could make me be like, we would have to make a splash signing, else I would feel like here we go again. Like it would feel like what they call like the Twilight Zone. I don't know if y'all.
Yeah, Jimmy, but it's gonna take more than just a shiny new toy to distract me.
It's like to honest for me, it would be like us bringing back Poch. Like I didn't celebrate it as much as people don't know how much I celebrated within when we fired him, because I'm like, yes, I don't have to go into the season on edge. I can actually go into the season and accept whatever happens the first 10 weeks. Because that's what I usually give a brand new manager. You give about 7 to 10 weeks before you can see what he is and what he's not. And like, so I got something to look forward to. With Poch, I would have felt like I have nothing to look forward to. I kind of know what the season was going to look like, because he already said he wasn't going to improve stuff with his deep. My problem with Ten Hag is, where's Ten Hag ball? Like, so now this summer, he's going to incorporate Ten Hag football, because he wasn't incorporating it nothing before. So now he's starting from scratch.
This is why when you give him this year with another structure, you might see something different. I totally disagree, because if you're a bad chef, you're a bad chef. It doesn't matter to me if I give you good ingredients or shit ingredients. Yes, I mean, the better the cook, the better the ingredients I want to give. I want to give you premium ingredients. But I've seen this manager time after time after time make mistakes on the pitch every game that I know it doesn't take a Dan Ashworth to fix it. It doesn't take a Wilcox to fix it. It doesn't take who's the new technical, not the technical director, the one that worked for Chelsea.
Barada.
Even Barada. The transfer. What's his position? He's the transfer analyst, something like that. Whoever his name is, I messed up his name. It was like some German name or something. Anyways, it doesn't take these people for you to fix certain mistakes on the pitch, which is why when Jimmy says like he would have been deflated going into the season with Poch, that's how I feel. And I just feel like there's a lot of delusion that United will go into next season and become significantly better. Do I think we will be better? I think we will, because as I said before, I don't think you could be worse than last season. It's very hard to be worse than last season. It's very hard to finish. To be worse than a negative goal difference finish that we had.
I was
It's
about to
very
say
hard
that
for us
y'all
to be
negative in
lower.
that bank account.
That's what I'm saying. It's very like once you're broke, Jimmy, you could start making a little bit more money. It's not great, but it can't get worse. And this is what it feels like to be with United. The fact that Renee is here, the fact that Van Nistelrooy is here, that automatically improves the coaching staff because you do factually have 2 head coaches now working as the assistant coach. It can only get better from here because you actually upgraded your staff. So when there's games where Ten Hag is just doing nonsense, he's gonna have like a Rene go to him, Rene Hake, or he's gonna have a new story. He's gonna be like, no. I think this is what we need to do for the rest of the game. And this, you might see it here and there in glimpses or in certain games, which, as I said, I do think is only one way from here, and it's up. But just like how far up we can go, and I don't see massive improvements that I could see
See,
next.
I'm with you, Staffy, right? I see improvement, but I don't see it taking you to like wow levels. I think that you might see a little bit of a better Man United. My problem with Ten Hag is I see no style of play in 2 years. I don't understand what Ten Hag ball is. I don't think it exists. The other thing I don't really understand is as much as people are saying you're just bringing players over from Ajax that or at least you'd be able to think that he might be able to get some of the best out of them and he actually knows who they are, but he hasn't been able to do that either. Whether it be Anthony, whether it be Malacia, whether it be, XYZ that he's brought over. Also, when you look at the Ten Hag situation, yes, he's won trophies, and that is what the game's about. And I always will never, ever mock managers that win trophies. But you want to actually have an understanding of where he's going and taking this team. And I don't really understand it. Now, it might be different under the new structure. I think Henry's got a point in terms of there might be an understanding of how they work together as a team to recruit and how they might look to get some form of implementation. But the actual style of play has got to come from the manager. And the analogy you make about a chef with his ingredients is absolutely spot on to me. And I think he's been a poor chef with poor ingredients. It's been an absolute double whammy, to be fair, at Manchester United so far. Let me come to you, Billy, because I know as an Aston Villa fan, you're probably looking at Manchester United interestingly, thinking whereabouts are they going to be next season. What's your thoughts on this Ten Hag situation, brother?
I don't really rate Ten Hag, to be honest with you, but like Staffy just said, he's now got two head coaches as assistants, so that undoubtedly improves his staff and will probably improve him as well. I think how it kind of affects Villa, I don't think it does to a certain extent. I think we're all going to be in the same kind of mix anyway next season. It just over 38 games, who's going to be fifth or who's going to be eighth? Do you know what I mean? It could literally be us, Spurs, Newcastle. You could throw in there as well. It could literally be any of us who finish in whichever order. Chelsea. But that's what I mean. There's so many teams now that top half is a separate league almost to the bottom half. Do you know what I mean? And so I don't think it will have too much of an impact on that. I think the games between us are going to be interesting. Villa United on the last game of the season. If anything's riding on, that might be interesting. But
it's too far from now for me to worry about. It's way too far. I'm looking in front of me right now.
But no,
I'm not worried about next year.
But no, I think it's gonna. I'm just intrigued to see kind of how much better they do because like you said, Potts, and like you said, Staffy, I do think that they will do better, but they're not going to be title contenders by any stretch of the imagination. Like I say, they're going to be in that group of 5 or 6 teams where anyone can finish anywhere, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think that's
what's
fair.
the worst thing about it? If you let me add to that, then
yeah, go on, Steph.
I think the worst thing about it is this is his 3rd year, and this fucker got this automatic reset because of everything around him. Like he just lucked into a new ownership coming in. And I feel like it just created this notion in everyone's head now that he's warranted this 3rd year and he's warranted another rebuild. When you're really being honest with yourself, the only reason you're looking at this season as being a rebuild is not because of him. It's not because of anything other than Ineos coming in at the right time for him to have that excuse. Because let's say Ineos never came in, 3rd year, what do we all say here when we get a new manager? The majority of the people at least say, I expect us to compete within 3 to 5 years. There's always this timeline that hit year 3, people now expect, okay, the excuses must run out because now you need to deliver something. Whatever it is, the level of
Unless you're
expectation.
Tottenham. Sorry, Henry.
Yeah, you get your
That's a
phases,
different case.
5 and 6.
Yeah, that's a different case. But I just feel like he lucked out with this whole rebuild thing. And it doesn't sit right with me because when people say he's rebuilding because of the old regime and the mistakes, well, some of the mistakes that are in the squad is technically because of him. So he's technically fixing his own mistakes. It's not like he's coming in and fixing Ole's mistakes or Mourinho's mistakes or whoever was here before him. Some of these players that people want gone this summer, and they're like, oh, give him time to get the deadwood out. Well, hold on a minute. He signed Anthony. So when we talk about Anthony, I mean, that's him fixing his own mistake. Casemiro's going to go. These also, well, he signed Casemiro on these hefty fees. Some other players like Amrabat, oh, we don't want him back, blah, blah, he hasn't been good. He signed him. There's so many players that he either signed or co-signed of them being here, and people are just giving him the excuse. And it makes me sick to my stomach that he gets to sit here one more year and get a free pass, aka a rebuild, when he's actually crazy. Like he's just cleaning up his own mess. And I don't think it should be like that. Should I be deluded to say, oh, yeah, it's year 3, I'm going to demand a title race from him? No, I won't say that because I can use my eyes and I can see this team is shit. But realistically, I should have been holding up to that standard because last year, sorry, not this season that passed, the first season he got us to 3rd and everyone got carried away and said, yeah, next year we'll compete. Now, year 3, we're going back to saying, oh, we have a good enough team to be challenging for the top 4. So we actually moved back in time. And to me, just doesn't. It really doesn't sit right.
Nah, facts, man. Listen, everything you're saying is absolutely pure facts for me, man. I've got to say, but Henry, let me come to you on this one, man, because there's 2 players with this news breaking today that are probably a little bit in the mud. Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho. Now, the rumors, I don't know about the breakdown in relationship with Ten Hag and Rashford. I don't know if that's actually true or not. There's reports today suggesting that that's the case, but there's definitely a breakdown in relationship with Jadon Sancho. Now, the report I was seeing from Sky Sports News today was suggesting, or a source from Sky Sports News was saying that Rashford may be allowed to leave Manchester United and Sancho may be offered to Premier League clubs for around 40 or 50 million pounds, I think was the rumor. Before I come to Staffy on that one, Henry, what's going on here? Do you see these 2 lads leaving Manchester United? Where should they go? Who would be interested? What are you saying, bro?
I think Sancho will definitely leave. I think that relationship is like absolutely dead and buried. And I actually rate Sancho. I think he's a very good technical winger. I think he just needs the right manager to put his arm around him. It kind of gives me Havertz vibes to a degree. Like it like started off absolutely horrendously at Arsenal, but towards the end of the season got a few goals. Like I think Sancho, not comparing it to Emery or Ange, but that sort of manager would get a lot more out of Sancho than an Erik Ten Hag would. With Rashford, I don't see him leaving. And I'll be honest, I don't really rate Rashford that highly. I think he's a very much purple player. I think when he's on it, he's absolutely on it and he could get bundles of goals in succession. But throughout a season, I think he averages 8 Premier League goals. Now, if Man United want to get back to the promised land and want to start winning league titles, then they need to get rid of Rashford for me personally. But I see Sancho going. I don't think they'll get rid of Rashford. I think that's too much of a quote-unquote rebuild in one window. Like Varane's being linked to a few teams in Italy. Lindelof's potentially going. They want to get... It looks like they want to rebuild the centre-backs at the moment with Tadibo and Branthwaite and De Ligt. And then they'll move forward up the team. But for me personally, I don't think Rashford leaves. But I'd take Sancho. Maybe not 50 million. If it was like 30 million, I'd take him at Spurs because I think he's a better out-and-out winger than a lot of the players we got.
Do you know what's mad, right, Jimmy? I'll come to you with this, right? I would actually take Sancho over Rashford. Like for me, if I'm going into Arsenal right now, I'm thinking, trust me, I'd like Eze, I'd like Pedro Neto, I like Nico Williams ahead of them all, right? But if you was to say to me that Sancho and Rashford are available, which one are you going for? I'm going to go Sancho because I look at the mentality of Rashford. I don't like it, bruv. I don't like it at all, man. I think it's weak. I think he's just one of these nice guys. I don't really see any hunger or fight in him, passion.
I don't even like. He's not even my style of player. Like I hate the way he plays. I see what he brings, but like, we all have a preference, a type of player. I hate the way Rashford plays. I hate the way Rashford plays, and then like, he's kind of like brainless. If he's not going to score, he seems brainless to me with his attacking. I don't like. And then it's too much. At first, I'm not going to lie. Years ago, I felt like the media picked on him, right? And then it went too far with the sympathy. You know what I mean? Because they used to pick on him, and then the people who defended him defended it too much to where I think it turned him into like now he felt like pampered, like, and that's how he acts. Like you can see his attitude on the pitch, and like and then the everything that comes with him. I'll take Sancho. Sancho looked to me more like a player. It looked just like Sancho looked like one of them players. He went to Man U and it just didn't work. But I see enough from Sancho. I see a talent. Like I'll have some of that. Pause. Like I'll take that at my club. Like you can't tell me he's a attitude problem. Like that's what they play the coaches $8-10 million for. Go deal with the attitude. So what? Everybody's not a church boy. Who cares? Who cares? Like I hate this idea that this guy got an attitude. Like think about where you work. Don't you got that one coworker that's annoying, but damn, he gets his work done. It's the reason he's never been fired. He might be an a-hole, but guess what? You ain't hiring him because he's an a-hole. You hire him because he's a good worker. Sometimes you got to deal with some of that. And I don't even think, as a man, people have this idea that, a coach is your boss. And I kind of tell people he's not. He's more like your supervisor. Your boss can fire you. A football coach, he can't fire you. You can go back at him. The worst thing he can do is put you on the bench, have you sold, but that don't stop your money. So this idea that Sancho had to apologize, if you lie about me and I say, hey, you're lying, I'm not going to apologize to save face. What's in it for me? You want to give me an extra $1 million? No? Playing time? Oh, no, you can keep that. I'll keep my integrity. I'm not apologizing. Pay me. Pay me. Pay me. That's the only way my integrity is. I'll sell a little integrity right now. For 20 million, I'll say something that I don't believe right now. Give me 20 million. It changed my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Everybody will sell a little bit of integrity.
Will you admit that Havertz is a good player?
Never. Oh, you can give me $10 for that. You can cash at me $10. I'll say that. Everybody gonna know I'm lying. Havertz is what he did for Arsenal. If anybody would tell you, I predicted that. I said Havertz he's gonna go there. They're gonna see what he is. They're gonna make excuses for it, and then he's gonna show them what he could be. And then you're gonna start the next season like, yeah, Havertz, and then you're gonna be like, wait. It's gonna be like Groundhog Day. You're gonna be in that loop again. Yeah, and then half the season gonna come, and then he's gonna catch on fire, and he's gonna look like an off-brand, like a Poundland Berbatov. He looks good when he's on fire. He looks good, but when he's not, you know what?
Man, I have to agree with you.
I watch your show. I watch your show regular. I've seen you come and just when they was trying to save him, and I seen you here just giving the truth. That's why I'm a fan. That's why I watch this show, because I like people who give the truth. You ain't gotta make no excuses for nobody. It is what it is. Call it like you see it. That's how I like. That's who I follow. That's who I watch.
Big up, man. I appreciate it. And listen, you're the same. And I must admit, like that what you've just done there is sum up what my season with Kai Havertz was. That literally was.
I had 3 of them. 3 every time I thought, okay, this is it. This dude, I seen it. This is it. Nope. Disappeared, man. Disappeared.
Yeah, man.
But the worst part, the best thing you guys had over us is when he wasn't looking good, it was just because y'all was forcing him there. Y'all actually had people y'all could put in over him. We didn't. We didn't have a fucking soul. And we just kept playing him. So.
Well, there we go, man. Listen,
I have PTSD from it, man. Trust me. I don't want him back. I never want him back.
Listen, Billy, I've got to say, Rashford and Sancho, they've not been heavily linked with Arsenal, but there were rumours that Mikel Arteta was interested, particularly in Rashford, and there were some early talks in May. I don't know how true that is, man, but talk to me about Rashford if he was to go to Arsenal, because there is some kind of fans that I speak to that want Marcus Rashford at Arsenal and thinks Arteta could unleash him and turn him into this great player. Now, I'm not a Rashford fan. I'm with Jimmy. I'm with Henry. I don't really look at him and go, wow. I think Manchester United fans, not all of them, but some of them massively overhyped him and said that we've got our Mbappe and this guy's going to be 150 million, all this rubbish. And I'm like, wow. I mean, he's all right, but he's nowhere near that level, in my opinion. But do you think that if he went to another club, it would be a good move for Marcus Rashford, or do you think he could have a good future if he stays at Manchester United, bro?
I think it's dangerous territory for him, really, because I don't see the only move that I can see possibly working out for him is abroad to a PSG or somewhere like that. I don't think he, as a person, I don't think he can accept that he's not going to get into a top team. I don't think he gets in the Arsenal team when it's fully fit. I don't think he gets into a lot of the teams that finished from first to sixth. And so if he does move elsewhere, he might have to swallow a bit of pride, which personally I can't see him doing. However, if PSG were to come in and offer the money, I can see him going, and I can probably see it working over there. But I don't think look, I'm with you as well. I don't think he's that good of a player, to be perfectly honest. And that's why I think I don't think teams are going to be interested in him, because as well as not getting in, you've got the wage demands and things like that as well. So look, I don't know. He needs to move away. I think he needs to move away, but is he going to swallow his pride and drop down a couple of levels or two? I can't see him. I can't see him swallowing that pill and doing that. So
I can only see PSG. That's how I see it. I couldn't see him going anywhere else. I couldn't.
He gets in that Arsenal team over Martinelli, though. I'll say that.
No,
right now Martinelli's a better player than Rashford.
I think
Martinelli had a stinker of a season.
Martinelli had a poor season, man. But I would take everything. Yeah, I would take him over Rashford because I feel like he's got, in my opinion anyway, and I know I don't watch Rashford as much as Staffy, right? I watch Martinelli more, so maybe it's a bias stuff coming in here. But I look at the way that he plays in terms of the tenacity, in terms of the work rate, in terms of the tireless running that he does, in terms of the finishing, in terms of the link-up play. And I see Rashford swanning around, and I think, look, Martinelli had a stinker, but he was giving 110%. Rashford's like, don't question my commitment, and he's waltzing past Ross Barkley, and I'm like, what are you doing, man? Honestly, man.
I hear that. I hear that argument there. But sometimes you can blame the environment around it, because Casemiro didn't look like he could give a fuck at the end of the season. He was just, remember that Palace game where he was just couldn't care less. He gave away like 3 goals at least.
But when Staffy, let me ask, I'm sorry, what did Mourinho think of Rashford attitude? Did he say anything bad about Rashford?
I actually don't remember. I really don't.
That's what I was trying to remember, because I'm trying to remember.
He didn't like Martial. I don't remember if he had issues with Rashford, but he didn't like Martial.
Okay.
He actually he questioned Shaw's mentality, and he questioned what's his name, Martial. And obviously we all know what happened with Pogba.
Okay.
He kind of liked the Rashford. I don't remember, but he's the one that kind of like start playing Rashford when he signs Zlatan or whatever. But he kind of liked him. But what I was gonna say is, when I'm looking at comparisons, Martinelli versus Rashford, which is the point I was trying to make. I think with the way Arsenal are setting up going into next season, you need a little bit of a direct winger in that team, and that's what Martinelli is. I understand the whole work rate and all that. By the way, I rate Martinelli before anyone thinks that I'm just talking shit about Martinelli. I actually do like Martinelli. But when I look at this Arsenal team and I look what they're going to need next season, and if you want to stay consistent with scoring goals, I think you need to get a direct winger on that left wing. You need more of a goal scorer, because you kind of have a lot of like the creation from elsewhere. So you have Trossard as an example. He's an attacker, but he's not really a goal scorer. Like, he gets the goals, but he's more of like the pass and move, likes to create, likes to drop in the pockets. Saka is more of an all-round winger than Rashford. And then you got Havertz obviously playing in the 9, who's more of like I wouldn't say a false 9, but kind of plays like a target man. You don't have enough direct players in that front line, and you're trying to go for another center back to play. Let's say you play Calafiori in left back next season. You're already locked up on defense. You're doing what Arteta's doing is exactly what Pep was doing, and what Pep did is went and got a direct winger. he got Doku. Now Doku's a little bit different because Doku likes to pick up the ball early, and he's not necessarily a goal scorer, but he likes to go at his defender. Rashford is similar yet different in a way where like you get him, all these runs that Martinelli makes, he will get and he will score more goals because he's a better finisher than Martinelli, and he has more of a bag when it comes to finishing than Martinelli. He can shoot with his left, right, in the box, outside the box. Whereas Martinelli, I don't think he has a variation of a shot like that. Not to mention that Rash. I mean, you guys seen it. Remember that goal where he got past Partey, smashed the bottom corner? He has that in him. I see him in a team like that where he's not the main man because I don't think he would be your best player. He would have the whole defense focused on him, or the team would be set up in a way where they just, let's try to like shut down Rashford today. They can't do that because there's better players on the pitch than him. You have a Saka, you have an Odegaard, you have a team that's low-key stacked. He won't get all the focus. He won't be the main guy. You wouldn't be playing to him 100%. I just see him making these runs that Martinelli makes, getting all that space that Martinelli gets. And I'm not going to lie, he's bagging at least 15 goals for you in the league. And I think he could be the difference between winning and losing a league if you guys get him.
The problem is, like the narrative that Arsenal need a striker, I don't buy it because they scored.
He's not a striker; he's an attacker.
No, I'm saying in general, like I don't think they need a striker because they scored over 120 goals last season in all comps. I don't know how much Man United. I don't think Man United would sell to a direct rival for Rashford anyway. I think there's more chance he goes abroad. But the way Arsenal play, I think someone like a Pedro Neto suits that system more. And they've already got Martinelli and they've got Trossard who can play on the left. That up front, they've got, I know Jesus isn't prolific, and they've also got Havertz. My worries if I was an Arsenal fan is if Bukayo Saka gets an injury, the drop off to Nelson is like going from Harry Kane to Troy Parrott, and we've been there. Like it's like if Villa go from Watkins to bringing in an academy player, the drop off is absolutely huge. And I think like I know Duran did well when he come off the bench, but Watkins is a 20 goal a season player, just like Bukayo Saka. If the drop off doesn't happen, I still think they need a DM. I think if they get Calafiori, it's a fantastic bit of business because that defense is the best defense in the league, and there's nothing getting close. But they need a wide player who can play both on the left and on the right. I thought Xavi Simons was going to be the guy, but I'm not convinced. But I thought he was going to be a lot better in the Euros than he's been, and there's still time for him to like really, really shine. But I'd look at someone like Pedro, and I think the way Arsenal play, those runs in behind, and he loves putting the ball in the box. And Arsenal usually get 3 or 4 players in there. He's like Brennan Johnson, but just better in every way. That's exactly what Johnson does, but he's just better.
Mate, I've been a fan of Pedro Neto for about 3 years. Made of glass. That's the problem. Always bloody injured, man.
Being injured, man.
Yeah, he needs a season. If he had a season, he'd be one of the best in the league, man. If he had an injury-free season,
I would take him for 30 million. I would take him for 30. If he was for sale for 30,
our teams would.
I would take him. I'll give about 15.
I don't know how much.
I'll give about 15, 20 games out of him.
Yeah. They probably want more than that, though, Jimmy. They probably want like 50.
Oh, no, they're going to want a lot. But that's what I'm saying. For what his injury, with the wrist,
right. Sorry.
Down to 30, I'll take the dive. I'll dive right off every day. I'll run to the bank. Here you go. Take 30. But I know they're going to want about 60.
Yeah, they're going to want a lot of money. I was speaking to judges about this earlier, right? We've got Eddie and we've got Reece Nelson, as Henry just mentioned, right? And as much as a lot of people don't rate them, Wolves are interested in Eddie and Palace are interested in Reece Nelson. I'd be chucking player and cash at these teams, man. I'd say, look, we give you 30 million and Nelson if you give us
homegrown players. And everyone's a homegrown player.
I can see why somebody would want Nelson. The Nketiah thing, that shit is a mystery to me.
No, I'm the same as you, bro. I don't even think Nelson is that amazing either.
Why they would want him. Yeah. The Reece Nelson one, I can understand what a team could say I can get something out of him. Nketiah, I'm like, no, you can keep that. I'm good. Yeah, that's like me with Brussels sprouts. You can keep that. I'm good.
Hey, Eddie Nketiah is Brussels sprouts. I'm going to clip that up.
Yes, he is. Yeah, man. I'm good.
That's what I'm going to do.
You said who wants Nketiah? Fulham?
Fulham, Wolves, and there's another team as well.
Yeah, it's a few teams. I've seen every year there's a few. Didn't one year somebody came in for him and they turned it down?
Yeah,
like Palace or somebody.
Yeah, Palace.
People who want Nketiah, and I don't get it.
I like Fulham. Fulham are arguably. I think Fulham are my favorite team in the league. They always come in and I feel like they just help us all out. They're trying to get McTominay from us. and they're trying to get. I swear, like I need to have a second team, and it's just gonna be Fulham because I swear they just help us out. They took Pereira off us one time. I forgot who else we saw. They always come in clutch and they just help people out. Like
Pereira hasn't even been that bad for Fulham, to be fair. He
found his level. I will be honest. He found his level because look at him in Brazil right now. You see Brazil right now.
We've got some ex-Arsenal ones. We've got ex-Arsenal ones at Fulham. We've got Iwobi, Leno. We've got
there you go. Willian. They're helping everyone out.
Iwobi,
I swear,
Willian.
We should all listen. If Fulham are ever in a relegation battle, I think we all should get together and just support them.
I think there could be a chance next season with Palhinha going as well.
Yeah, that's going to be a big loss.
Oh, yeah. I forgot he got. Oh, yeah, they're going to be.
Man, that's a massive loss,
that's
man.
That's a big hole in the middle of that field. Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a lot. Wow. There's a big hole there, man. I'll tell you this.
They're not going to spend that money that popular. But what they got, like 50, 60 M's for him?
I think around there, yeah.
Yeah, about that, wasn't it? Or was it less than that? I don't even know.
Less. I think it was like 40 million.
Yeah, I think it was like 40,
really that little?
Which is an absolute steal, by the way. For
they could have sold him for 80 last year?
Yeah. They should have. They should have. Listen, let's stick with Arsenal. It's a nice segue because obviously Calafiori, it looks like that's Guinea had a done deal. I think it's a good signing. I can't sit there and lie and be naive enough to say that I watch this guy every week. But from what I hear and what I see, it's good.
It's better than good. It's better than a good sign.
Go on, Henry.
That's a proper signing. Like the way you play with a fullback going into midfield. He started off his actual football journey as a left-sided midfielder. He can play left-sided centre-back to cover Gabriel. He solidifies that left-back position, which means you get Zinchenko off your books. And you have, Juventus apparently want Kivior as well. You then got Tomiyasu, who can play in all four roles and be rotation. He is, I'll be fuming if you get Eze, but I'm pissed right now. You've just got him because he's been linked to, not just got him, but you're on the verge of signing. He's linked to everyone. Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United at one point, Bayern. He is a proper defender who loves to defend. I don't want to say he's at that level, but he gives me, listen to it with a pinch of salt. It gives me, to a degree, Maldini vibes.
What?
No, it does. I'm not saying he's at that level. I'm not saying he's at that level. The way Maldini used to play, the fact that he was so good at dribbling out from the back, the fact that as a centre-back, can play anywhere. He looks an absolute gem. He's not obviously nowhere near Maldini. You're talking about arguably the greatest defender of all time. But the way he plays is similar. It's very similar.
It's Italian, long wavy hair.
The headband, the fact that they're the same height, it just gives me so many vibes. I'm telling you now, that will be Arsenal's best signing of the summer.
No.
Wow.
He's that good. He's so good.
His best quality. And I don't like defenders like this. Call me old school. His best quality is going forward.
Nah.
He can dribble out the back. He can dribble. He can do
he's gonna lock up. Any winger comes at him, he's gonna lock him up.
He's gonna get cooked.
See if he can pass the Leon Bailey test next season.
He's gonna get cooked. He's gonna
honestly,
get
the way
cooked.
he plays, it's so similar to a young Maldini.
He's a good player. I watched a couple Bologna games because I don't know if y'all know Strasbourg Steve. He's the type of person have you watching everything. I seen him play a few games. He's good. I didn't, for what they wanted for him, I said, unless we was doing something where we was sending a player, I don't want him.
Not even at 40 million. That's in this market, that's cheap. He's only 22.
Yeah, I must say, when we got linked with him and I was thinking, how much are they going to want? I would take that. I thought the money was okay, to be fair, for him. And he's going to play left back.
Let me ask this, because they do this with Chelsea all the time. So it's only right that I do it with Arsenal. Where is he going to play?
Left back.
I mean, y'all got, this is center back FC over here. Y'all got
that's what he wants.
That's what I'm saying. They're doing what Pep is doing.
Yes, that's what he wants.
That's what Pep did. Pep has
but
center backs.
I'm being facetious. I'm not really that. I'm not that guy. But I get it. I when they said we were in form, I was like, nah, because I understand why they want to sell Cucurella because of his salary. But man, look, that dude's been on smoke for about 4 months running. He's been one of Spain's best players. I want to keep Cucurella, especially with the way how Maresca play. He don't even ask the left winger to go forward. He asks him to invert. Come on, man.
I actually have a shout.
It's magic. So just don't sell him. Don't sell Cucurella. Keep Cucurella. Don't go buy Cauliflower. I wish him the best. He can go down the street and play for Arsenal. Go ahead. Go play for Arteta. Enjoy it and stay injury free. Because I wanted to see Timber. I was even upset when he got hurt, and I'm not even an Arsenal fan. I hate to see players get hurt.
You don't think though
That's me
with Timber that gives him like license? I think Timber will probably play in midfield. If they get Calafiori, they're not going to upset that. That defense is the best in the league. They're not going to move that around.
The thing is, to Henry, like with Timber, and I love Timber. I think he's going to be an absolute baller. I'm a massive fan when we signed him. Gutted when he got injured, right? But we don't know what he's going to be like. Now he could come back sharp, or he could come back like, wow, you could tell he's been out for 9 months. So I think you're right. Calafiori, I think, will start in that left back role. I don't know what this means for Kivior or Zinchenko, if I'm honest with you. Tierney and Tavares are going to go. But I think for me, Calafiori and Timber are going to be those the left backs at Arsenal. And you're right, Timber is so versatile that he can play right back, right centre back, DM as well. So I think this is a really good signing. I like it. I think 40 million is fine. I don't think that's way over the top or crazy. I'm not going to shout Maldini and put him in the same sentence like Henry, but that's why I love Henry. But I will say, I think it's...
I said vibes. I said vibes. Not nothing like
it. I'm joking with you.
I'm here for the hyperbole. I'm here for it.
Of course, man. Of course. But Staffy, go on, bro. What are you saying?
I was going to say, I actually have a shout. I think he's coming in to replace Gabriel.
Whoa. Come on.
I think he's coming in to replace Gabriel. Remember last season when
I don't rate Gabriel.
No, I actually rate Gabriel.
I love Gabriel.
I like Gabriel, but I think
I rate Saliba though. But go ahead.
No, I rate them differently. But I look at last season. Arteta tried to put Partey in the back line when he played him right back for like about 3 games. Remember that before he got injured? Mm-hmm. Remember Gabriel got benched like 3 games. I think he got benched in the Community Shield. And everyone was wondering why he's not playing him. I think Arteta's revisiting that again. Because I do think he's trying to get more ball playing from the back line. I think he rates Gabriel, but I think what Arteta's doing is, even though I hate the word phase, but he's reached a ceiling with Gabriel being in that back line, and now he's looking for the next upgrade. And he's looking for... Exactly.
Yeah, like how he
some players could be there for a year or 2, but then once you get other stuff settled on the pitch, then you go back and revisit these things. Because Gabriel was never the issue with Arsenal for the first 3 years. But because he upgraded so many other places, I think now he's back to revisiting that. And I think he wants more ball playing from his left center back. And he wants a center back that when he low-key goes to a 3 in the back, I'm not saying that you guys set up with a 3 in the back, but let's be honest, every top team, City and all them, when you have the ball, you kind of do play with it 3 in the back because one of the fullbacks is just somewhere up the pitch. So I think he wants this center back that can defend in wide positions, which Gabriel is not good at. Calafiori will be good at it. And he wants more ball playing because Calafiori is better on the ball than him. And obviously you get the versatility and the fact that he can play in left back and all that. But I think Gabriel will be replaced by Calafiori if Arsenal sign him. I truly believe that.
No, what's mad,
one more thing. I can't think and agree with people that he has no plan for Timber. Yes, I understand he had an ACL and it's going to take time to get him back to playing professional football after he missed a whole year. But I think he has a plan for Timber. And I think Timber was the plan to play in left back all along. I don't think Calafiori is coming to play there, if I'm being honest with you.
I mean, listen, Timber was definitely the plan for left back. He started playing there. He was our best player in pre-season along with Trossard, then got that mad injury, right? And to be fair, we were shifting it around. Now, at the start of the season, the reason Gabriel, I don't know this for fact, but the reason that Gabriel was getting dropped and Partey was dropping in there was because he was flirting with Saudi Arabia at the time. Saudi Arabia was saying, we'll take you. And he was like, I'm really tempted, boss. And he's like, cool, if you're tempted, this is your now position. You're on the bench for the first 3 games until you decide what you want to do. Then he obviously said, no, I'm cool, I'm calm, I'm staying with us. And then he was, honestly, Staffy, he was the best defender at Arsenal last season.
I agree. I said phenomenal. He was your best defender, yeah. I did agree.
Phenomenal. And, I can understand why people look at Gabriel and in a similar mold to like Romero and think you're a nutter, you're a rash. But for the last...
That's why I don't read him.
Yeah, I'd say for the last 18 months, 12 months actually, he's not been that guy. And Saliba is the main reason. And I don't know if you agree with this, Henry, but I think like Romero's a nutter, right? He's absolutely not. I actually rate
Well,
Romero. He's
not
a
any.
nutter.
I
There you
I
go.
think
So,
he's
but do you
changed
think it's
this
because of Van
season.
de Ven, though? Do you think Van de Ven has calmed him down? Because that's what I think exactly, and that's what's happened with Saliba and Gabriel, bro. That's what's happened.
I do think though, before Postecoglou, Romero had this tendency where, you know, he'd just run 30 yards out of his defensive line and say, "See you later," and snap you in half. He's changed that though, like, and now the Argentine
what I'm
press
getting
are
at.
like raving about him. Like, I know obviously they're getting gas up their own players, but the way Mascherano talks about him, it's like he's talking about Carlos Puyol. Like he has
He
changed
is a
his
good
game.
defender, man.
But yeah, I think I kind of low key get what Staffy's saying though, because he did make not lots of mistakes, but I remember a lot more Gabriel mistakes from last season than I do Saliba. Now, I know Saliba gave away 2 penalties or whatever it was, but Calafiori just I've got this feeling Timber will play in the DM because if Partey's going, I don't think Jorginho's got the legs to play 50 games a season. So he'll be rotated with Timber. You'll have Rice in that advanced state, and then obviously Odegaard. So I don't really see. I don't know.
He's going to go back to trying to invert someone from that fullback into the midfield, which is
I
why
think it'll
I'm
be
believing in
Calafiori,
this
though,
year.
'cause that's what he's good at.
No, but here's the thing. I understand what you're saying. Calafiori is good at defending wide positions. This is why I think he's going to play in center back. So when you invert someone, I don't think Zinchenko's going anywhere. I could be wrong. If he somehow, and this is what I think he's going to do, he's going to have Timber inverting from that left back into the midfield. You need to have someone that you trust that can go to these wide positions. This is why I think I hear what Dan just said about last season with Gabriel and Saudi and all that. Obviously, I trust you more because you know more about your team than I do. I'm just going obviously by what I saw and what I remember. But when I'm looking at it tactically, I do think he is the best way for him to have Timber invert into that midfield. Because you guys think he will start in the midfield. I disagree. I think he will invert into the midfield. He will do what he tried to do with Partey, which is play him in right back or full.
Do you think he'll go
I think
in Gabriel?
I think so. Yes.
Wow.
I think it's gonna be what's his name? Timber on the left, Calafiori in center back, and then Timber's gonna do what he wanted from last season, which is going to that midfield.
Wow, well, it's going to be interesting.
Well, his options it's a manager's dream.
It's a good headache to have. I'm not gonna lie.
It's important.
Rotation. I mean, I am fairly excited because of not what I've seen, what I've heard, and sometimes that's the better way round. Because I don't know about you guys, but let me just take Squadron Mustafi. When we signed him, I looked at the YouTube compilation and I thought, wow, we got Cannavaro here. He looks unbelievable. So I don't like to do YouTube compilations because of that reason, right? But when I hear stuff about it, and I know Henry is like very honest when it comes to this stuff, I think for me, there's some excitement around it. There's a reason everybody's looking at this lad. There's a reason everybody's talking about him. For the fact that we're now in the mention, it wasn't long ago that we were like, oh, it's a shame Arsenal can't attract him. Oh, it's a shame he's got another one going to Chelsea or Man United or Manchester City. It just shows where Arsenal are now. And as much as I'm still not convinced with the whole regime and project until we, of course, get over the line, at least we're now in the mix with these names. Do you know what I'm saying? So when somebody like this becomes available, Arsenal, oh, yeah, that sounds like a good project. Whereas before it was like, nah, I don't want to go play with these guys. They're absolute wasters. Whereas now it's quite an exciting project. So for me, Calafiori, for example, might have looked at Chelsea and thought, I can probably get into the first team here more than I can Arsenal. But do you know what? I like what's going on over here. So I think that's got to be a positive as far as Arsenal are concerned. Billy, what are you telling me about this guy, man?
To be honest with you, I'm not going to claim to know him like Henry. I've only seen him from what I've seen in the Euros, and he looks like a pretty decent player. Like you said, Potts, there's a reason that all of those there's so many eyes on him. And yes, strength in depth. It's such an important thing. You're going to want to be competed on all fronts next season. Obviously, wanting to get a little bit further in the Champions League, finally get that league title instead of coming second. And so, yeah, I think it's a good signing, an exciting signing, certainly. And look, if Saliba or if Gabriel does get injured, like a couple seasons ago, you've got that player to just step in and you can play exactly the same way. There's no worrying about the quality dropping off. You've got that player that can just, like I say, just step in and you could just play your normal football. Of course, Saliba or whoever it is, it'd be a loss. but the fact that you've got that player there to come in and perform to the same level is so important. And like I say, to be competing on all of those fronts, which is what you're going to want to do, then quality signing, I'd say.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I really want to see what one's about. Are you like? I mean, Jimmy, you said you didn't want him at Chelsea, and you've obviously got Cucurella, which I understand. Do you not think that could have been a good option for you in a similar circumstances, though, that he could have come in and actually challenged with a few positions there at Chelsea?
Right now, I'd rather just keep Cucurella. Even bring up somebody young. Like, no more splurging on the defense. Like,
he's been good in the Euros, by the way.
Give me a striker. Give me a goalkeeper. I don't need any more midfielders. I don't need any more attackers. Like, we link with Matoma now. Like, don't get me wrong. I'll take him. But give me a goalkeeper right now. You know what I mean? And I'm hearing we're going to start Sanchez. It's okay. It's a new manager. You never know. I remember wanting to sell Rudiger. I remember my Tottenham friend, I was like, would you have Rudiger? I remember that. And he said, hell no. That's how bad Rudiger was for us under Lampard. My friends who are Tottenham fans, I was like, yo, we about to loan Rudiger. He was like, I don't even want him. That's how bad he was. So a new manager can really make a play. Thomas Tuchel came in. I don't know what he did to Rudiger, but he turned him into, you see where he at now. So I just think we need to get a goalkeeper. We need to get a striker.
What keeper do you want, Jimmy?
Costa.
Yeah, man.
Mama Dad's Feely.
He's so
Any
good,
one of those guys. Those guys are they're real good shot stoppers. And from what I've seen, they're at least okay with their feet. And they might
the Georgian
be
goalkeeper can't kick ball though. He can't kick ball.
Huh?
He's a good shot stopper.
Who's that?
The Georgian.
Mamardashvili. Yeah. That guy.
I don't know how to say his name.
Neither do I really. I think I butchered it then. But yeah, he's the guy that people are talking about. Newcastle looking at him as well, man. But Diogo Costa is the guy, man.
Because for Maresca, you got to be able to play out the back. So
yeah, that's why I said that.
Costa is the best, man. Honestly, that Diogo Costa.
Costa look like he'll come to the league and look like a Allison and look like an Edison.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think Man City will look at him. I think now that Edison is potentially going to Saudi.
He'll go.
Looks like
it. Listen, Ortega could start.
£600,000 a week. Would you go, Potts? I don't know what could possibly be the attraction there.
You know what I mean, though. Like Edison and this, maybe.
No, if you were Edison right now and you think I've won a treble, got 5 league titles, what more can I do? Let me just go and make sure that my grandkids are going to be financially sorted for the rest of their life. And then you've only got to go over there for 2 years, come back with 25 million euro, and then fly back to England or wherever you go, or Portugal, or fly to Brazil.
No, yeah,
and to be fair, like, low key, this is a big shout. I actually prefer Ortega. I think when he comes in, I think he's so good, man. Like,
he's a very good shot stopper, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not good at his feet, but
no, I think that's where Edison has kind of lacked at times, the shot stopping element. I think because when you play for Man City, a goalkeeper is very rarely used, aren't they? And so when you need to be on the ball for when it does come your way, and I think Edison at times he's
a bit rash, isn't he?
Exactly, yeah. He's a good goalkeeper, but I think there's better goalkeepers out there. And from what I've seen of Ortega, when he does get that shot at him, he's there, he's ready, he's alert, and he reacts to it well.
And he plays well with his feet too.
I'm a fan of Ortega. I mean, Son did make him look pretty good that night, I must say. But, Son did miss out on purpose, didn't he, Henry? Do you know what I mean? So it's
I don't think you're going to see a better save than that all season, mate.
Best save of the season.
I must
say,
Champions
League that as well. What a save,
mate! That save, man, will go down and haunt me. Anyway, Salad, how are you, brother? You good?
I'm so sorry about the timing. I know you said 7. I thought it was 8. No, I'm joking.
Come on, man. It's all good. It's all good, bro. It's all good. How are you, man? You good?
I'm good, man. Thank you very much. feel like you guys have got through every topic already. So
Nah, listen, I did want to ask you though, and I know that we're going kind of back, so I'll only come to you on this. Calafiori to Arsenal. Talk to me. I know your Napoli is your team. What you know about this guy? Talk to me. Come on.
I was having this conversation with Judge Mo yesterday. I feel like obviously a lot of people didn't watch Bologna. A lot of people didn't watch Serie A.
No.
And I think his best attributes are what you guys are probably looking for. And you're probably going to play him at left back, which is where he was playing previously anyway. His ball carrying, his ability to pick out passes. So all of the stuff that Zinchenko does well, plus being a top quality defender. He's not primarily an amazing defender, but he is a very, very good defender, and he's still very young. So those things can improve. And as soon as the link happened, I thought the first thing that came to mind was, I know Gabriel has had an amazing season, but I still think there are doubts in terms of concentration, his overall ability. I think the centre-back partnership for the future for you guys is Saliba and Calafiori, which is going to be absolutely incredible. It's going to be...
That's what Staffy just said.
He might start off at left back to begin with, just because Gabriel's coming off this impeccable season last year, where he was one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League. But for the future, I think Calafiori is 21, 22, Saliba the same. That's going to be the best centre-back duo in the world for the decade to come. You know, like, it's just going to make so much sense. They can both play incredibly. They're very compatible. I know we've seen Saliba play left centre-back this tournament, but he's primarily a right centre-back, and he does that better than anyone in the world. Calafiori is going to develop into that on the left-hand side, and it's just going to be fantastic. But he's a phenomenal player. Phenomenal player.
This excites me, man. Staffy, fair play to you, brother. I didn't.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. People be sleeping on me, bro. They're like, "Oh, this American don't know, bro." Trust me, I'm ahead of the curve.
I disagree with Staffy. I take back literally everything I said.
I was scared that we agreed with each other, because I never agree with selling on everything.
He's terrible.
He's literally the biggest fraud on Twitter, but we agreed for once on something, so it's okay.
Well, there we go, man. We agreed. Listen, let me just throw in this couple of super chats, and then we'll move to the next topic to come to a close. Emmanuel says he's better than any Chelsea defender. Jimmy, he's coming for you, man.
He's talking about Gabriel?
No, he's talking about Calafiori.
Yeah. Who?
Calafiori.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
He probably is.
I was about to say Gabriel. Yeah, I agree with that right now. But Calafiori, get it. Because he plays left back, and if he's gonna be talking about he's a left back, then I got Reece James out there, and it's not in Reece's league. Go easy.
I've got Netweed as well. Says, "Where's the striker?" Second Teta. He does not like Arteta, does Netweed? Second Teta is sabotaging us. Henry, you don't think we need a striker, right?
Well, like, depends, because you score 120 goals last season in all comps. Do you need a striker?
Yes.
Or do they need just better overall squad depth and more clutch? Like, I personally think Arsenal, I've said this on many shows, the Terrace here and other shows, and Staffy's probably heard me, probably getting bored of me here and say this. They need cover for Bukayo Saka. The drop-off is huge. The number 9, you've got players that can play there. You've got Trossard can play the false 9. Havertz, Jesus, left-hand side, you've got Martinelli, Trossard. If Saka gets an injury, it is curtain Albion. It is absolute curtains out there, right? Then you need another. I think you need more goals in midfield. I think out of there, I think their defenders collectively scored 20 goals in all comps last season. With Saliba's goals, Gabriel's, Ben White, or 20 GA that might be. They don't need a striker. They just like.
Well, hold on. That's not something you want to rely on every year.
Yeah, but you don't also want to rely on one player to get you 20. If Ollie Watkins got an injury last season,
you don't think if you drop Ivan Toney in the front in that attack with Arsenal, that's
yeah, but I don't think they want Ivan Toney. I know the fans might be, but I don't think
they want him. But if you drop Ivan Toney, from what I see with Ivan Toney, you drop him in that front line with.
Oh yeah, he'd cook. He'd absolutely cook.
And that's what I would honestly say. I would literally think if you gave me the same Arsenal defense from last year with Ivan Toney in that attack, I would say City is only a step above.
Yeah, but they also need, like, I'm amazed.
Without a striker, I still feel like City is 4 to 6 points better than Arsenal.
Do
Even
you
though
not
they
think,
only was
Henry,
up-
though, like last season, there was a lot of opportunities that Arsenal had where you just thought, where is our killer? Havertz missing
Yeah, but at the
chances.
same
Jesus
time, the
missing-
amount of goals you got out wide, like, if you look at Arsenal, the only team in the top 6, other than Tottenham, that haven't got a 20-goal a season plus player. Villa have got Watkins, Chelsea got Cole Palmer, City have got Haaland, right? Newcastle got Isak, Tottenham have got Son. You don't have one, but you're scoring more goals than absolutely everyone other than City. And
But I
you
don't think they'll
lost the
go for
league.
goal
Liverpool
ahead.
To be
got
fair,
something.
they
By
did
3
score a lot
points.
of
Go
goals
up.
from their backline last season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's
And
something you
not-
can't sustain
rely
every
on
year.
that.
Well, it
Yeah, you
depends.
can't-
It depends. Like, their defense is that good. They're so strong from set pieces. Why can't they sustain it?
I think
So there's no guarantees to sustain it. I'll let you go in a second,
Yeah.
Tom. But what I'm trying to say is, every year you don't necessarily replicate what you did the year before and the year after. Sometimes,
course.
as an example, you could score 100 goals, but the 100 goals in the first season is different than the second season. Because if you remember their first season, they had Jack as an example, chip in with about 14 GA, which is a lot. And then they had Martinelli. He was a gunman for them. And you had Odegaard, who had over 10 goals, I think. And then you look at the season after, Odegaard's goals dropped, Martinelli's goals dropped. Obviously, you lost Xhaka, but then you got goals from the likes of Rice in the midfield. And then I think Gabriel had like 4 goals in the season, 3 or 4 goals, which for a center back, that's a lot of goals. Like a center back to score 4 goals. So they were getting goals from otherwhere. And that's for me to show you that they maintained the high goals, but it came from a different place, which is why every season I can't go and rely on the same thing that I had last season, because things change sometimes. You're not going to get the same goals that you got the season before, which is why I also hear Jimmy was saying maybe signing a Tony will cook in that team. But Henry's not wrong when he's saying they're actually scoring a lot of goals from elsewhere. I think the one thing about that front line that they have is that it's very creative. They get goals from everywhere. And when you take someone out, not that I'm saying Tony's not creative, like he's good on the ball, but you might add a striker right there. He will get the goals, but you lose the goals from everywhere else in that front.
It's like, it gives me like
which is
Liverpool
what I'm trying to
vibe
explain.
with Firmino. They need a Firmino type player to
Exactly.
excel Martinelli and Saka, because you can have a team where you're so reliant on a striker like Harry Kane, but Arsenal have got goals absolutely everywhere. And I think what Staffy just said, if you bring in a 25 goal a season striker, does that then neglect your wingers? Like, look at Real Madrid. They don't have an out and out number 9, but they've got wide players that are absolutely ridiculous in Rodrigo and Vinny. Right, mate. If you take when Haaland comes out, right, they play completely differently when Alvarez comes in because they're more reliant on the wire players. I think the way you are next season, I mean, everyone's talking about this Victor Gyökeres. I mean, yeah, you can score, you can get 50J in Liga NOS. Tottenham brought in Vinicius, who had an unbelievable season, and then starts doing Kylian Mbappe celebrations when you're playing 8th tier. You know, Darwin Núñez had an absolutely ridiculous season. Come to the Premier League, he's a different kettle of fish. And you're going to be reliant on a guy who's got goals in the Championship and the Portuguese league. Like,
I think what Henry said at the beginning is what I agree with the most with regards to Arsenal. I don't think there's much to change in that starting lineup. It's more so the drop of quality from the starters to the bench. Like if you look at Manchester City, for example, they've got, apart from maybe Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne, everywhere else they can take someone off and the quality doesn't drop that much. I mean, even Haaland to Julian Alvarez, yeah, they changed the way they play, but if you look at it on an average basis, they score roughly the same goals with and without Haaland. So the issue with Arsenal is that you're still relying on guys like Nelson and Emil Smith-Rowe and Nketiah off the bench to try and give you something extra. Whereas your starting lineup is fantastic, even though you should maybe want more goals from your midfield. I think the guys you bring on, the issue is if the quality doesn't drop that much, that's what you need to compete with and sustain that kind of title charge with Manchester City. Because it's always, I mean, if it wasn't De Bruyne, it was Mahrez or Gundogan or whoever it was, they've always had so much quality all over the pitch. And another thing that people are saying about this whole Calafiori thing is, oh, you can't have too many defenders. Why'd you have all these top quality defenders? I mean, Man City do it all the time. You can't have enough. You can't have too much quality. Like they had John Stones and Ruben Diaz and Akanji, and they still spent almost 100 million on Gvardiol. I mean, you can never have enough talent on your team. And I think if Arsenal can strengthen that depth on the wing and in midfield, have a midfielder that can come on from the bench and chip in about 8, 9, 10 GA a season, someone that can give Saka a bit of a breather, then I think that's what Arsenal are missing. I think Arsenal are right there. Even though I don't think the quality of players are as good as what City have, I think they're right there and they're not that far off. You just need to strengthen here and there, and that's all it is really for me.
I hope, man. We need to be right there. Listen, Henry, I know you got a dip, bro. Thanks so much for coming on, man. Make sure that
thanks
you
for
go
having me on. See you all soon, guys.
No, love,
Take
man.
it easy,
Love.
mate.
Take care, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Listen, to close, I gotta come to yourself, Billy. Aston Villa, Douglas Luiz is gone, big blow, but PSR looks okay now. Chelsea and Villa have had a bit of a word of each other, sorted each other out and all that stuff, and now they're getting to go again. Who you link with, bro? What's happening at Aston Villa, bro?
To be honest with you, it's gone quite quiet all of a sudden. We got all of the PSR stuff done nice and early, and I think now's just let me just have a week's rest from all the chaos, and then we can go again. The only thing that I've heard today is looks like Coutinho's joining Vasco da Gama in Brazil on loan, his boyhood club, I think. So
I forgot he was still in your team.
I know
So
it's
did
mad,
I,
isn't
man.
it? It's mad. But yeah, no, look, how we managed to get around PSR, and yeah, we sold Douglas Luiz, and the rules, the fact that we've got Champions League for the first time in 40 years and still had to sell one of our prized assets. The rules are ridiculous, as I think everyone's now aware of. But the fact that we had to go through all of that, and yet we can still come out of the other end with Maatsen, with two very exciting looking Juve youngsters. Obviously Lewis Dobbin as well, who, a lot of people aren't really too keen on Lewis Dobbin and think that it was just a PSR thing. Well, a lot of people weren't necessarily keen on Morgan Rogers either when he joined us, and look at the play that he's turning into. So I'm not going to judge these players, especially these young players, just yet, until I can see Emery get his teeth into them and start to work with them closely, because he turns a lot of players into much, much better players. And obviously Ross Barkley as well, who I'm really excited to see back at Villa, see what he can do after an exciting season at Luton. So yeah, as things are now, I'm very happy with the business that we've done. And now that we've got a little bit more freedom to spend, we've done all of that good work on a shoestring budget. Let's see what we can do now with Monchi and Emery going forward when they've got a little bit of money to spend. Joao Felix is another one. Sorry, I forgot to mention. Joao Felix, we've been linked with him today. So
Wow.
yeah, we're serious. We're not here to. This isn't a one season wonder thing. We're here to stay.
You want nothing to do
that's
with
what I
Joao
will
Felix,
say.
I'll tell you that, though.
Huh?
I said you want nothing to do with Joao Felix, though. I'll tell you that.
The thing is, as a Villa fan with Emery at the minute, whatever he does is fine by me. Whatever he accepts is fine by me, because Emery's so different to other managers as a whole, and other managers that Villa have had, especially. Obviously, he's just an elite level above anything that we've ever had, particularly in my lifetime as well. And with what I've already seen in the past 18 months or so of Emery, just the way that he works with players and transforms players is phenomenal. And he's done it over his career as well. This isn't a new thing that he's just started to do at Villa, and he's just having a bit of a purple patch with players. Do you know what I mean? He's done this consistently over his career, worked with players that haven't necessarily been, I can't think of the word. I was going to say stars, but I suppose Joao Felix has been a little bit of a star. But he's worked with players to get the best out of players. And so you say that we don't want anything to do with Joao Felix, but under Emery, I trust and I believe that he can truly get the best out of players. And if we do get someone like Joao Felix, who we've seen play fantastic football before, I'd be very excited as a Villa fan to see what Emery could do with him.
I think
I have no
like-
issue.
I think
I
Joao
have-
Felix would be more of a statement by than anything else. Like even
Absolutely as well, yeah.
Even if he's not the player in the world at the moment, or he didn't live up to his potential, I think just the fact that Aston Villa are signing players that went for 120 million not too long ago, who still pretty much in their prime age. I think that's more of a
Exactly. He's still
statement
very
than
young
anything
as
else.
well.
It contributes because it's not like Coutinho, for example, when they got Coutinho, who was very well past
Way
the
past
hill,
it, yeah.
had his world class days, all of those things, went off a couple of loans, etc., etc. Like Joao Felix still is very much within his prime age, and I think it's just a show of intent. Look, like Aston Villa are here. It shows the fans, it shows the rest of the Premier League. Listen, we're not a Newcastle situation. Yeah, we got into the top 4. Now we're just going to be happy to be content. I think like Aston Villa are going to be just as good next year, and they're not going to be like Newcastle that just got knocked out in the Champions League relatively easily. They're actually going to be solid in the Champions League because, I mean, we've seen Emery do it with lesser clubs. Villarreal were in the Champions League semi-final not too long ago.
Exactly.
We've seen it. So, I mean, Aston Villa, it's going to be very exciting for them. And Ross Barkley, as you mentioned, bro, I've always been a massive fan of him. I've always
I was
thought
sick
like
that they got him. I was so sick they got him.
Sorry.
That's a really good
you want-
signing.
I said I was so
Yeah.
sick they got him. I wanted him at United
I've
next season.
always been a massive fan of Ross Barkley. Had it not been for injuries, like, I think he's got all the attributes to be such a good player. Like his pass and his control, like he's got everything. It's just there's always just something missing, and that player under a manager like Unai Emery, I mean, God knows, but it's gonna be
Exactly.
exciting
that's a
time.
good
It's definitely
shout.
exciting to be an Aston Villa fan for sure.
Yeah, that's a good shot. Go on, Staffy. Go on, bro.
No, I mean, Salah, he pretty much said a lot of what I wanted to say. Anyways, Felix, listen,
Stop agreeing with me, bro.
was that?
I said, stop agreeing with me, bro. It's not like you.
You know what? I've noticed you only disagree on Twitter. It's to be fair, it's probably because I'm a dickhead on Twitter on purpose.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm a bit of a prick on Twitter, but it's by design. It's not an accident.
Podcast to realize this. It's fantastic. Thanks, Dan.
But what I was gonna say is, listen, Felix, it would just be a statement signing, and I don't think Villa need that. I don't think you need to go and flex by signing a player who was valued at like 120 million. I don't know how many years ago, and to say, look how big of a player we have. I trust Emery, by the way. Before you think this is a diss at Emery, I actually am a big fan of Emery. I've had debates on my channel and other channels before on how good Emery is. And there was a time where when we were linked with every manager under the sun, I said I actually wouldn't mind an Unai Emery at United. People think he's not that next level manager, but I get that. But I'm a big fan of him. My thing is Felix right now is this like this one person that no one wants. Like they're just trying to find a home for him, and I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people don't want him. I don't think Barca want him. I don't think Atletico want him back. There's wage issues. There's massive questions about the not reaching his potential that he had about 3, 4, 5 years ago, whatever it is. And I don't think that Villa right now need to do that.
He's just 24 years old, you know. Like he's
No,
just
I
24 years old. You feel me? And also sorry to cut you off.
No,
Just
go ahead.
one more thing. When he had that half-season spell at Chelsea, he's got a taste of Premier League football. He was actually pretty decent for Chelsea. I think if it wasn't for financial issues and all, like he was actually pretty decent in a dysfunctional Chelsea team. And he's only 24 years old. Like all of this about, I know we're both agreeing that it's a statement signing, but he could also be a very effective signing. Like he has game changer potential, and he's only 24 years old. Like we need to remember, he's 24 years old. Manager like Emery, there's way more upside than the chances of it being really, really bad. Depending on obviously how much they spend on him.
This is the thing. Villa won't just buy him because he's a statement like the Coutinho one was. We will buy him because we believe that Emery knows that he can get the best out of the player, and he will be a crucial player in our hopes of what we want to achieve next season. We're not going to buy a player just because he's that statement signing.
No, well, I'm sure that wouldn't be the only reason. I hear you 100%. It's just like the way I'm looking at it right now, I don't think Villa need a signing like this. If you go ahead and get him, it would have to make sense in a way where like, okay, it was a very good deal. You know, when you go to the market sometimes and you just see some mad sale that I didn't need to buy this today, but fuck, it's like on 50%. Let me get it. Yeah, it's too good to be true. So let me buy, even though I didn't need it. I didn't go shopping today thinking I was going to get a vacuum for like $20. Now it's usually $180, but fucking let me get it because I'll always need a vacuum anyways. That is the point that I'm looking at. Like, unless it's a bargain, because the way I'm looking at it, I'm looking at De Ligt the same way at United. because I'm not a big fan of the Ligt signing at United as well. Because when you look at both of them, I wouldn't say peaked early, but they had a very good hype early on in their careers.
Yeah, they did.
De Ligt, obviously different positions, but De Ligt was what? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. He was 17 and he was captain in Ajax.
That year they went to the semi-final. He was 19 years old.
Okay, so 18 going into 19, he was captain in a team of a senior Ajax team that ended up being in the Champions League semifinal. And when you look at him, he's also 24. I think they're about the same age. He's also 24, which when you look at it, especially in center back age, 24 is very young. But they've been on the scene for a while, and they've been projected to reach higher and much higher like heights in general for about 4 or 5 years now. And I look at both of them have been disappointing. It doesn't mean that they're washed and they're finished at 24, both of them. Obviously, if you have injuries, that's something else. But I'm just looking at them like, at what stage are you to make a signing like this? It wouldn't make sense to me unless you're like, you know what? His wages are going to cut by half, whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. You're going to sign him for like about 50 million, 40 million. Fine, fuck it. Let me go for that deal. Because that's what about to happen with De Ligt. De Ligt is valued about 35 to 40 million, which is what United are trying to spend for him. Obviously, Bayern are trying to get 50 for him.
That would be incredible.
If you get him on a deal, you get him. If it is a deal, yes, you get him, because the upside of it would be amazing. Because De Ligt on his day is not a 35 to 40 million player. He should arguably be 70 and 80 million, according to the potential that we'd have. Same thing with Felix. Felix is a 100+ type of player. So if you get him on a discount and you think your manager can revive him, go ahead and do it. I just don't know if you need it. But we'll wait and see. As I said, if I see it's a very good deal, I'll be like, you know what, fair enough. They want
the thing that it would add,
bro, and you're not like, what centre backs are available that's better than De Ligt right now? You know, you need a centre back. Varane's gone. You still have Harry Maguire. You still have Lindelof. Like, you need a centre back. It's not even the Villa situation where Villa can, you know what, we're gonna get a winger instead. We're gonna get a CDM to replace Douglas Luiz. Like, you need a centre back. I mean, like, De Ligt, you should be biting the hand off of De Ligt. I mean, you need it.
Nah, I hear you.
I don't. I'm with Staffy. I don't really get the massive hype of this guy. I think he's a good defender. I don't think he's world class. I don't think he's anywhere near the hype people did at 18, 19. And I honestly don't think that this will be a wow. Manchester United have got this serious guy, and now he's going to lead them. I don't see it. I think he'll do well. I'm sure he will. He's a good defender, but I don't know. I think Jared Brantwaite being linked there, I think he's going to be quality. Don't get me wrong, but that was crazy money. Whatever we're asking, 80 million or whatever it was, that's mad. The guy's not done anything in football yet. Do you know what I mean? Mark Guehi, I think 60 million, 50, 60 million. That would be a good signing, I think, for Manchester United. I think he's a very good centre-half. I think he's proven at England how good he is. I think he's a good player. But De Ligt has got the experience, man. He's been there. He's done it. He's gone through the Champions League. So maybe he will. But we'll have to see what happens, man. Listen, Billy, you'll love this, man. This is Joe. Sheets at the top right. Big up to Joe, man. Make sure you're following Just Joe if you're not doing so already. Couple of super chats to close on, because I know we've got to get out of here. Staffy's got his show. This comes in from Netweed. Yokeres is close. My ass is closer to a Bugatti. Big up, bro. I missed that. He put that in earlier and I missed it. So I'm glad that he's done that again. This one comes in from Manuel. Says, I meant Gabriel. That was for Jimmy, but Jimmy's had to shoot off. And this last one's from Netweed as well. Says, we can't give Arteta a pass for winning Wigan Cups. Oh, Salad, Netweed does not like Mikel Arteta. And I know that you're a fan of Mikel.
I am a massive fan of Mikel Arteta. And I don't think Arsenal should even be competing with Man City. I don't think you guys have the players to do it. The only reason you do compete is because of the structure that Arteta has put in place, that defensive structure. I mean, apart from your back four, I don't think you have any business competing with Man City. You don't have a Rodri, you don't have a Kevin De Bruyne, you don't have an Erling Haaland. They have all of these absolute game changers, these world-class players. Even though you guys have very, very good players in their own right, I think the reason you're so good at competing with Manchester City is because of the structure and the system that Mikel Arteta has put in place.
Interesting, man. Very interesting. Listen, we're going to get out of here, people. Big up to all of you. Make sure you do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe. Stay tuned. There's well over 300 of you here still, so I expect to see all 300 of you over on Staffy's show right now. Staffy, what you got coming up?
Yeah, we're just going to do more transfer talks there. I'm not gonna lie, I've been using the watch alongs as an excuse to not talk about United, but there was no games today. I'm off on holiday, 4th of July. So I was like, fuck it. Now I actually have to go face reality and talk about the news. And as I said, we got hit with the Ten Hag news, so I gotta do what I gotta do. But listen, we're less than 80 subs away from 5K. So there's about 300 people here. I'm sure 80 of them have not subbed yet. So when we go over there, I appreciate if anyone subs to the channel. And listen, big up Dan for having me. And, it's my first time, hopefully not the last time here.
No, come on, man. You're always welcome. It won't be, absolutely. Make sure you do me a favor, people. Stay tuned. Do not go anywhere. Go and listen to Staffy because it's all United talk. It's all Ten Hag talk. And there's going to be some great debate over there, man. So please make sure that you do that. Big up to Billy. Make sure you go follow Billy if you're not doing so already on AV Billy. And big up to Mo Salad. Next time we have you, hopefully it'll be for longer, my bro. Sorry we couldn't stay for long. Big up to Jimmy as well. Of course, and big up to Henry Wright. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. And I will see you at 8:30 in the morning for the last of this week's transfer news. Take it easy, people.